Welcome to the War Room, a weekly roundtable discussion that takes place every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Tune in at 911warroom.com/Zoom.
Hello, everyone. It's 5 o'clock. It is January 2nd, 2022. Happy New Year to everybody. I did not prepare for this one. I'm kind of getting out of the holiday funk there as well. As far as new news, let's see. Richard did a really in-depth technical review with Wayne Costi on propelled demolition of World Trade Center 1 and 2 and brought up this theory of, I guess, nanothermitic panels that were applied on one side of the core columns or not. And that would explain why. I think the most significant thing I heard was that there were pictures that he showed where the core columns of 1 and 2 were standing for a certain amount of time before they fell as well. So the core columns weren't completely eviscerated at the beginning, which tells you they had to have explosives or something were starting to take the core columns down on the inside of the building. Not what I used to think was they were blown out at the bottom and the core columns just dropped out through the center. Well, they were still sitting there so for a little bit. So more to think about. But that's that with Richard. He's going to have a new guy on here soon. I forgot the name of the person. Fran Shore's coming up eventually, and we will have Fran hopefully on the show on the war room here on a roundtable discussion with Marty Hopper, and hopefully I can get Robert Griffin, all the psychologists, and Dorothy Lorig. That'd be a good roundtable discussion. Anyone else for anything new that they're aware of?
Has he done Dan Hanley?
Not again, no.
No.
So he did Dan, but the quality of the video is so horrible that they were going to reschedule, and oddly enough, they haven't rescheduled yet. That was well over a month ago.
Yeah.
You had him early on, yeah?
Yeah, that's a good question. We'll ask. Let's see. Richard Gage, Dan Hanley, question mark. Let's see what else.
Mick Harrison had a video out just recently. I posted on our website.
Yes, the LC did do an updated interview. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you for that. That's a good one.
No news on his cover letter, I guess.
No, oddly enough, she has several questions to answer. That, the cover letter, there were gaps in the docket of the lawsuits. I was curious about why there were number gaps, and he didn't get back to us on that as well. He hasn't responded, but then again, it's now January 2nd, and he's preparing for oral arguments for our First Amendment rights to hear the controlled demolition of 1, 2, and 7 evidence. So that's coming up, if I may. Let's see if I can do this. Share screen 2, and hello, other new person. 9/11. That was lawyers committee. That was grand jury lawsuit. And notice of hearing. So I found this nugget. If you guys have the money, a few extra dollars a month, you can belong to, wish this would go away, PACER, PASER.gov, and you can look up any case. This case 21-1338. They sent a notice of their hearing. So Friday, January 21st, 2022, up at Foley Square in New York, the federal courthouse at 10 a.m. Mick Harrison's going to be given 10 minutes, and the other side's going to be given 10 minutes on why we should have the right. I'm just summarizing this way too simply. Why we should have the right for a First Amendment, why we have First Amendment rights to petition a government for a redress of grievances concerning the 60 exhibits for controlled demolition of 1, 2, and 7. So it's mind-boggling. It's got to go to second highest court in the land to say, we have the right for you to hear our petition. Like, it's just crazy. And I can't get anybody else to drum up support for it. It's not anybody, but you know what I mean? It's just the 9/11 truth activist community is asleep, I swear. You've seen it, Al. I mean, Al is really vocal in Boston, and it's just all of us here. We bang the drum, but thank you guys for being so vigilant at this. So there's that. What I was talking about, if I may.
One thing, Gene, what about the judge that ruled in favor of freeing up the info that NIST had reported, that said that they couldn't, that it was secretive? What am I trying to say here? You with me?
David Cole and the Discovery thing just came out?
Yes, that's right. Yes, right.
Yeah, there's been more on that. I think that's as simple as it, as you said it there. We are now given the right to be able to ask NIST for more information, or Dave Cool is allowed to ask NIST for more information, because he had procured some lists of evidence, numbered lists, and then NIST came back and says, no, we don't have that. And he said, no, it's right here in the list. And now they're caught red-handed. They have it. They tried to say that that warehouse didn't exist, and that just, no, it exists. So.
Gene, you want to stop sharing your screen?
Yeah, I actually wanted to show you guys this
Okay.
quick. Log into, search for a case, or log in. Log in here real quick. I did the wrong thing. Search for national index. There we go. I am me. Pacer. Why didn't it let me do that? What is going on here? Do search. So if you know a case, like I was interested in the original case, it makes you jump through a million hoops before it'll let you actually look at the case you want to look at. I think that's it. Nope. Take off the one dash. So we look for, there it is, Lawyers Committee for 9/11 Inquiry. So in 2019, civil case 08312, and it's odd, there's a bunch of cases with the 08312. So I guess this is how the order that it's heard. In the first, I don't know what the word is, docket, they hear this case, and then they go to this case, which are these two. So we'll take a look at it, and I'll spend the extra buck to look at the docket report. Run the report, and this tells us all about it. This was the original filing that Mick Harrison did back in 2019 after they waited a year and a half for the, let me step back. Quick history. You guys know this, some of you may not. In 2018, April of 2018, the Lawyers Committee filed 57 exhibits for the controlled demolition of 1, 2, and 7. They came back in like July and added 3 more. In November of 2018, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York said, okay, we acknowledge these 60 exhibits for the controlled demolition of 1, 2, and 7, and we will abide by federal statute 18 USC 3332. For a year and a half, they drug their feet, didn't do a dang thing. So finally, the Lawyers Committee filed a lawsuit and said, hey, we want to know what's going on with this grand jury. So the first thing they did is a filing error and some rigmarole, and the official date is, I think it was 9/10. First complaint in the nature of mandamus against William Barr, Jeffrey Berman, filed by the Lawyers Committee, filed on 9/10. So it officially filed on 9/10/2019. Eventually, And here was my question. There were gaps in the docket numbers, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Where are the gaps now?
I think they were in the 60s for some reason.
That is on the new case.
Oh,
Oddly enough, there's no gaps now in this one.
so maybe the gaps were only on the new case?
Maybe they fixed it, but I'll get to that in a second. So in May 25th, or actually it was March 24th, 2021, they denied us. They dismissed our right. They say no standing, but part of that no standing was saying that you don't have standing as Mick's gonna fight back in the appeal. We have a First Amendment right to petition our government. And so they refiled that. Let me go back. Thank you for being patient with me here while I just go back. And the new number is 1338 21-1338. We're looking for no.
Right there.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah.
Okay. Lawyers Committee for 9/11 inquiry against Merrick Garland. So now we're at the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Here's the docket. And there's a gap. 64, where's 65 and 66? And now 67. So basically he filed the oral argument. Then it took the government like a year or several months. Where is it? There's the notice of the hearing. So he did the appeal and it took him another like 3 months to get out the hearing date, which is another month later. So we can all follow this. This is all public information, again, at pacer.gov. Just kind of let you know this, and you can actually go and see the actual documents. This will cost me 20 cents to view it, accept it. I already had downloaded it, but let you know what's going on. That was the screen capture that I got. So I'd like to get an update from Mick, but I imagine he's probably stressed on top of whatever he does full time.
Yeah, we need to leave him alone until after January
For
21st.
this, but yeah, should be very interesting. And I didn't listen to that, but you were talking about how the interview, but I will. That's probably a good one. Did you listen to it?
I just got started and then I haven't gotten through it. Yeah.
I got you.
Did you post that docket on, I know you send out your postings, but what we just went through, I'd love to bring that up on our site. And I hate to say that I'm gonna miss trying to figure out how you got there.
I will. I'll send a little write-up on how to do it if anybody would like to do that.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
I think in a couple of my posts recently, I put here's a quick summary, which is basically what I just said there, minus the documents. I'll just copy and paste that into a new post and put some links to get to these actual files, which I can't link directly to the government site because obviously it's password protected. I'll download the files, upload them to WarRoom, and give you links so that you can
Wonderful.
look this up. All right, cool.
Just wanted to let Alfred know last week when you weren't there, we had someone by the name of Jason Kelly who joined us, and he's in Boston also. Yeah.
From Boston, right. I gave him told him to go on the site. So
right.
I'm glad he showed up. I hope he had something to contribute. I don't know. I don't know him that well.
The what he allowed us to do, because he was really interested in the whole how to create memes and stuff like that. So we had a little mini session of Gene walking us through meme generator and how to, if you have an idea, if you have an image and something you want to say, of how you just can quickly put that together. So yeah, that's what he allowed us to do. But he said he was going to reach out to you, or said he'd been on a call or two with you guys. And
yes,
Jason said his expertise was elevators.
Oh, okay. Yes.
That's right. Yes, thank you for that, Sean. Yeah. He's that would actually be an interesting interview with Richard if Jason does have a thorough background. He is a union elevator contractor. It'd be nice to hear if he had what insights he could expound on there.
Mhm.
Anyone else around the room got something?
Any agenda items?
Yes, David.
I would like you to agree to reach out to David Chandler and arrange fun for some time at his convenience.
There's another one. Yeah.
Dialogue with me and you and Sandra and anyone else who wants to come about what we should say for the all three laws version of physics
I can
denial.
speak on
I'd
that.
rather it not be at this meeting. I'd rather it be a special meeting so that the folks who want to talk about all the things that truthers normally want to talk about will not be bored stiff.
10-4. We'll do that. I'll follow up with that one.
I could speak on the three laws if you'd like, Gene.
Well,
make
I'm glad you're knowledgeable. Maybe you can come to the meeting.
So our quick synopsis is that David, we already think I talked about that. I don't know, Sean, if you were part of it, but David wants to do basically a campaign where we hand out information on campuses, and they originally just focused on the third law of motion. And then once David Chandler saw that, because I briefly had them talk, he said, no, you should really encompass all three because they tie together. And we just never followed through with that. But yeah,
and David's just looking for how to properly phrase it in a way that that is accurate, and that it would also it would grab the attention of students who should be on board with the laws of physics.
So Sean, if you don't mind,
know that the laws of physics are 100 years older than the U.S. Constitution.
Sean, if you don't mind, I'll add you in on a link when I reach out to David Chandler. If you'd like to be part of that, I would appreciate that.
I think Dave's smart because he was able to put them laws down on paper with computer diagrams, and that's where I'm not really.
Yeah, but any input you would have, there might be a nugget you could say something. I'll just reach out. I'll send an email.
I need to say a little bit more about this. The reason why I believe it'll be more effective than normal leafleting is that the website physicsdenial.com is not obviously about 9/11.
Right.
And if we hand out business cards that said www.physicsdenial.com and we say disagreement about Newton's laws, students will take it home and look it up, and they won't have a leaflet which says 9/11 on it for them to decide, oh, I'm not going to deal with this. So when they look it up at home, the idea is that they should be encouraged to go to their teachers of physics or any science and ask them, is it really true that the official story of 9/11 violates Newton's laws? And professors with research money from the feds are not going to help. But way over 90% of people who teach physics at the college level do not get money from the feds. So, and since this would be asked politely and after class, some teachers will honestly say, I think you've got something there.
No, that's what they should say if they have integrity and if they really believe in their physics.
The point is that it's going to be after class. They're not going to lose any contracts. They're not going to lose their job, and really say what they want.
Yep.
Right. I just want to interrupt to say hi to Michael Atkinson because he's never joined us before. Hi, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, Mike.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I'm late. I was at a bar a while ago and I was about to leave and come here and be here on time, but I took about 15 minutes to explain to somebody that I met for the first time in my life about this stuff, and I gave him my card, and anyway, I'm here. And Gene, I appreciate you having it. I came here mostly to learn what I could about the online Photoshop and that type of thing.
All right. Yeah, I'll dip into that a little bit today.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt just to say that it's 5:19, Gene.
Yeah, it's just about that time, guys. I
For
just like
those
to
who
take.
don't know.
For those that don't know, I just take a break at 5:20 real quick for a small prayer for justice for 9/11. So those that aren't religious, I respectfully just ask you to just chill for a second. So It's 5:20. Lord, just take this minute right now. I just thank you so much for these people that have hearts for truth, and just ask you would bless and protect them, encourage us as this 20-year battle wages on. Lord, we just ask for doors to open and for evil to be exposed, and that you would just pray of protection around the lawyers committee and Richard and all of us as we continue on this path. In your name I pray. Amen. Thank you. If you don't mind, I'll dip into that real quick. So let me share my screen here. I'm trying to find an easy way for you guys to be able to do photo editing. And Photoshop is it's now used as a verb. Hey, I Photoshopped that. And 20 years ago, people wouldn't know what you're talking about. I'll try to make it less than 10 minutes on this. So a great website, if you just typed Photoshop online, one of the options will be this Photopia. If you can remember how to spell that, Photopia, Photopia. And it's really, I'm amazed. I kicked the tires a little bit with Sandra. It's amazing how easy this is. I'm actually going to kick the tires a little bit more and see how easy this is. Let's say I wanted to take another screenshot of this notice of hearing date. If you're on a Windows computer, if you hit the Windows key and type snip, it brings up a snipping tool, which is just to be able to do a screen capture. And luckily this is being recorded, so you guys can look at this later if you want to follow along and try this. But I'm going to click new, and I'm just going to select the top of this. And I'm going to copy it, the copy button. I'm going to go back to Photopia if it'll let me. And I'm going to try pasting. Let's allow it. That's incredible. I'm amazed that it did that. It allowed me to paste to this website. So here, let's just say I wanted to add some text, maybe a link down on the bottom. So this is
You just maybe
Photoshop.
want to explain like the most basic buttons on the left and what they do, like just
Thank you for that.
kindergarten level.
So kindergarten level, right now I'm going to show you a couple tools. One is the text tool, which is the T, and next is the color palette. There's black and white, or black and red. When you ever want to go back to the default colors, there's little teeny tiny black and white boxes. You just click that and it goes to the default colors. And there's a little arrow on the other side. If you click that, it'll reverse them. So if you want your foreground color to be white, which you can't do anything, it wouldn't show up. That's that. Flip it. I want foreground color to be black because that's what color I want my text to be. So I'm here in text. It's automatically set to this alpha. When you have, sorry, I'll jump around a lot. When you pick a symbol or a tool, more preferably, when you pick a tool, the options for that tool show up in the top bar. So if I click these other ones, it's the options for that tool. So I'm going back to text, and now all of a sudden I can pick the font that I want, the size, the alignment, whether it's left, center, right. We'll just stick with that for now. So let's say I wanted to add 911lawyers.org to the bottom corner. Click on text. Click down here in the bottom corner and type 911 lawyers, not laywers. .org. Double click, select all my text. I want to make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to click up here in size field. And I like to use my mouse wheel because you can make it and move it. When you come away from it a little bit, it'll allow you to move it. That's the move tool.
How big is your text box right now?
Right now it's at 32 pixels.
No, I'm just saying, like, can you make it bigger if your text ends up needing more space?
Oh, it'll grow automatically. Yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, if I type something so long that it scrolls off the screen, yeah, I'm going to have to move it over.
Okay.
It expands. I'll delete that, move it back over to the edge. And then this is just a very basic, simple first step for you guys.
What if you wanted to add an image like top left corner, like the lawyers committee logo, for example?
Let's try that. So Let's go 9/11 lawyers. Grab this logo. Let's open the image in the new tab just to make sure it's, oh, it's the whole banner. Let's
You can
say,
crop it.
so let's see how this works. If you allow works on, if it allows you to work on multiple images, I'm gonna hit Control V again. And no, it puts it right on there.
Well, what
Oh.
if you cropped it before you uploaded it?
So I actually can crop it. Now we're getting into a little bit of advanced Photoshop stuff. Hear this out. So what's great with Photoshop, and the reason it's so great, is over on the right, there's a palette called layers. So just imagine them as if, the bottom, I have my background. I have the text layer on top of that. And now I've posted another image called layer 1. We'll call this the LC banner. So what's neat is, just to show you how this works, if I put the text, let's see how the text goes behind it. It's because it's under that layer. If I drag this layer above the banner, it's on top of it, even though it's dark and you can't really see
Oh,
it.
wow.
So you
Yes,
can play
you
with
can
your,
reverse the layers at any time.
yep, just drag and you'll get a bold line to let you know that you can change where it's at. So I'm gonna make sure I have the move tool, which is the topmost tool on the left. And I'm gonna click over here. Whoops, I didn't mean to move the background. Edit, undo. Make sure I'm on the text layer. Make sure I'm on the move tool. And I don't know why that's moving. Huh. This is a little different than regular Photoshop. It actually moves whatever you're hovered over. Anyways, so the LC banner, we just want the logo. So I'm going to cut out the rest of the banner. I'm just going to kind of like click all of this and hit delete. Click over here and hit delete. Mind you, I'm on the LC banner layer. So I just deleted that part. And that was a new tool called the marquee. It just lets you select things, select areas. So I just wanted to select, make it a little even, more even. Now I can select the move tool.
Hey, for kicks, would you be able to get rid of the black stuff? And
The
just leave
black?
the round part of the logo?
Oh man, you're killing me.
I don't know, I don't know how
Let's see.
complicated
So
it is.
if I wanted to do that, there's a new tool called the Magic Wand tool. It selects similar colors. So I'm going to highlight this dark blue. And it pretty much gets it. I'm going to raise the tolerance up to like 10 pixels. So it means it's going to select colors with around that range that you select. And wow, that got really weird. It should have gotten better, not worse. What? Oh, I'm picking feather. That's why. Wrong thing. Tolerance 16. I'm going to make that 25. There we go. I'm going to hit delete. And it left the top and bottom gold bars because those were so different of a color. So I'm going to grab the marquee tool again and just select that and hit delete. And select this and hit delete. And there. It's a little grainy, but there is the answer to your question. And I can
Okay.
spend more time and I can make it look a lot better. But at that point, all you have to do is file. If you're going to make memes with multiple layers, you want to, I'll wrap this one up and we'll just keep this as a simple beginner start on this. Always save a master format for this file. So right now it says save as PSD. PSD stands for Photoshop document. Hello, Claudio. So so I'm going to save the Photoshop document. I'm just going to save it to my desktop for right now because we're just playing.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So image 1. And the reason you want to save your master format is because if you ever need to go back and you find out that Sandra texts you at 2 in the morning and says you misspelled lawyers, you can come back in here and go, oh, okay, it's L-A-W-Y, not L-A-Y-W or something like that. Or you can come back and you want to add something to this, or this started you off with a great idea. You can always build off of it. Let me just mute Dave real quick.
Mhm.
There we go. But then when you want to send it out so you can actually share it on a website, you would export it as a JPEG file. I always save it as JPEG. If you like PNG or whatever, go for it. JPEG, they give you some options. I always go with the best quality, 100%. And desktop and image. So now we have it. I could actually publish this to Facebook, wherever you wanted to post it. So that was a very beginner first time round for somebody that's just getting into Photoshop, and it's completely free. Again, this is Photopia.com, and you have all the power of Photoshop for free.
My question would be, I mean, since there is such a thing as meme generator, what would be the advantage to using either one? Or is there one that's clearly, I mean, obviously Photoshop is a lot more complex, but for someone who's just starting, would it be less daunting to go through meme generator, or does it not make a difference?
If you're on your phone a lot, it would be better to use something like meme generator because it's quick and simple. If you have access to a PC, this is the preferred way to do it because you have a lot more control. Again, it's not as easy as meme generator. Excuse me. If you're on a PC or a Mac, I would go to using Photopia.com. But if you're on your phone, it would be a lot easier to do a meme generator. I don't think meme generator has a website for PC.
Yeah, it does.
It does?
Yeah, I do it there all the time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is this it?
Nope.
Know your meme.
No, it's meme generator.
Oh, wait, that's image flip.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. That's my bad.
Try this one.
No, you're right. It is image flip, but I saved it as meme generator, so that's.
So yeah, if you have an image flip or a meme generator, it kind of does the same thing. Imagine you could upload your image here. Yeah, upload an image. Let's just go to my desktop and pull up that thing again that I just made. It's called image. Yeah, and then you can add your text. No shadow, no white, we want black.
Yeah, I mean, those programs are really simple because it just gives you the basics of where do you want your text, how do you want it to appear, where do you want your picture, what font do you want?
Same kind of thing, yeah.
And the beauty of this is that I keep saying it, it's like if you guys are on Facebook, you see the same memes being recycled and rehashed over and over and over again.
Right.
And we're dependent on fresh messages and fresh ideas and new pictures and stuff like that to keep this thing alive and moving and relevant. And so if you guys have a really specific message that you want to share, or you found an image that you think is really worth putting out there with something you want to add to it, then this gives you all the tools that you need to do that and add your voice to the social media field where others can share it as well.
Yep.
Very, very good. I just wanted to compliment you guys again. You guys keep this. No, it's serious. This is the act. This is what we need. Anything that has to do with action, and then finding simple solutions for complicated problems. Yeah, I prefer this over the program, that Photoshop program. I use an image editor very similar to Photoshop. Photoshop is very complicated. So the meme generator, definitely. You can get the job done quickly. You don't need to be a genius. And
right.
Anyway,
Yeah, and you can fool around with it. I mean, just, you know, there's just try things out and test it out, see how, you know, when you move things around and when you change things, how it appears and what options you have. And, you know,
Sorry.
well, I was just gonna say, I started making since I learned how to do it, and you showed me like, when was it, last year when I was in Pittsburgh, you know, and it's like, I do my own, you know, beginner's version of things.
Yep.
Yeah, and
He was-
it's not a huge learning curve, you know, like where all these other image editors, you know, there's a learning
No,
curve.
it's not a huge learning, but the thing is, you're still pretty limited in meme generator. You don't have a whole lot of fonts to choose from. I mean, Gene has 1,000 fonts that he can run with, and you know, whenever I create a meme and I run it by him, he's always kind enough to not laugh at it. But
Photopia has, they gotta have 100 in here. But when
that's
I
crazy.
use Photoshop, let me bring up the real deal.
Photopia. I'm gonna bookmark that.
Well, Photopia is basically the online version of Photoshop.
And I'll
Claudia.
tell you what, it is 99% like the real deal. It is amazing. I was just blown away by it. But if I was in here and I was to go text the real Photoshop, you know, I have all my fonts. I can download new fonts and add them to here. Like the Rockwell font, which is the AE911 Truth font that they use.
Is it?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh, where'd it go? Come on. That's not it. Not
No.
Rockwell. It's Roboto, or I have all my font stuff changed here. It's supposed to be 100%. This is 100%. Roboto, and they use Railway. You'll see this on their memes that they use the text and the gold bars. It's this font, but anyways, I'm getting sidetracked.
Nice. Very good, Gene. Very
What
good.
I wanted, when you start off making memes, they're going to be beginner memes. You're going to get stuff like this where you notice the pixelation and the artifacts around the guy and it's just really crappy image for this cartoon. What I like to do is go out and find the best version of it. So I'm a little ridiculous on this. Like
you're right, Gene. It should be a better quality image. Yeah.
You always got to go out, and if you find an image that you like that, like let's say you really like that, you wanted to find a better quality. Here's how I would do that. Let me just delete this stuff because we were just playing. If I can delete it, let me just move it off screen there. So how I would go if I wanted to find a better quality of this, that's that snip tool that I was talking about. Just bring it up when I say new. And I grab the image, or maybe it'll let me look at it. No, it won't let me.
Or you could just download it and upload it to
Yeah.
to
So
Tiny.
I'm going to save this as desktop, and we'll call this test. If you guys don't know this tool, you should know this, because in activism, researching images, you got to know about this. tineye.com. So I'm going to upload that image called test, and it's going to search the internet for every instance, and I want to look for the biggest instance. 1680 pixels wide. It's huge. A lot of them will be broke, but that's a lot better quality. I don't know if you can tell from that.
Yeah, definitely.
That between that.
Yeah, the guy has his mouth open like he's.
No,
stuffing
that's
a
true
pizza.
too. It's not completely the same, but it's a lot better quality.
It's better. Like he's actually saying something. You know.
Yep.
Mhm.
So I liked it better.
But if you're going out and looking for images, I don't know. What a good.
And can I just interject one quick second? What I use TinEye for also is to fact check.
Yes.
Because many people, and I've seen this a lot now, I've seen pictures of protests and it says big protest in Barcelona or something like that,
Yes.
you know? And before I share that, and before I say that this is, because I've been burnt, I've shared things thinking in good faith that it was really what they said it was. And that's exactly what happened. And I checked, I got called out on one post that I made. And so from then on, I've been checking, and someone posted a picture of a super big protest in Vienna. And I'm looking, that doesn't look like Vienna, but I'll check, you know? So I downloaded the picture, I uploaded it to TinEye, and it did a search in
What is it called? TinEye?
TinEye.com.
TinEye.com.
So for
And
instance,
basically, well, I'm just going to finish because basically
Okay.
they did a search for that picture, and I discovered that that picture was first shared in the, I don't know, early 2000s or something like that. And it was a picture of a protest in Russia.
mhm,
So it had nothing to do with the current situation.
mhm.
And I care very much to be accurate in what I post and what I share. So I'll always fact check what I share.
This is great. I used to use Google search.
Yeah,
And-
Google does,
and-
it's an
For that?
alternate, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not working like it used to.
No,
Right? So they want to be part of the, this information. Nothing is like it used to be.
Yeah.
So whatever we can find independently like this, another one, thanks again, good thing I came on here. I just got two great links,
so Claudio is talking about Google does their own image search as well. Except you go to images.google.com and there's this button here hidden called search by image. And I'll upload that one again just to show you how this works.
It's not the same like it used to be, Gene. It's
Yeah, I
not.
got you.
I used to use it since I first discovered it like 5 years ago, and it has changed. So I used to look for like people get on social media and they'll use a picture of some actor or something, right?
Yep.
And so I said this looks a little suspicious. I used to throw it in the Google search, and boom, I would find all of these websites that that image came from. And then, of course, I knew this guy was full of crap, but it doesn't work like it used to. So it's like Google is now part of the, the psyops, and hiding all this stuff. And so I'm going to try. Anything that did not work in Google search, I'm going to try it in the one that Sandra just mentioned and see what I come up with. And I'm going to let you guys know, the results. All right.
Yep.
And thank you again. Both of you.
I was gonna go off on a tangent, but I better not. Let me reel this back in a little bit for me. An example where we could use this. Somebody posted this image the other day of the core columns still standing from World Trade Center 1 or 2. And I've never seen this image. Sandra said she's never seen this image. So this is the first time I'm actually doing this. So it's kind of interesting. If I right click on this and open the image in a new tab, it actually gives me the URL to this image. I think if I did that right. There we go. So this big long address, I'm going to copy it instead of downloading the image. This is another way of doing it.
Sorry, where did you get that? What did you do?
So back on that Facebook page where it is,
Yeah.
I right click on it and say open image in new tab.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's what I meant to click. There we go. And it should open it where it's just that image by itself. So now you could either download this image, save the image and upload it to TinEye, or you could just take the URL. I'm going to copy it, Control C. I'm going to go back over to TinEye. I'm going to paste it in here. It's going to search the web for that image.
Oh, wow.
2 results. Not a whole lot of results. And the earliest one, you can sort it by the biggest size or the oldest. So
and what does this tell us? That there's only 2 images out there?
So the earliest post November 24th of 2009 in a French newspaper.
Curious to know what they say about that image.
So we can actually click on the article if it brings it up.
But how has that image been around for 12 years and we're just seeing it now?
Yeah. I don't want to accept. I guess I can't read French. Which one says don't accept?
Well, that all says it's all desactivated, so you can accept everything. Tout accepter, just in blue, like up, right there. No, up to your right. Yeah, that one.
No, I just accepted everything.
Okay, so then, oh, I thought you were accepting that it was deactivated. Well, that's
Yeah.
a little convoluted.
So there it is. I can't read French. That would be Sandra to help us out. But
Isn't there a translator you can use it on your browser? or
yeah, so
something?
you grab this URL and we'll go to
Google Translate.
Google Page Translator.
You
You
could
used
just
to-
copy the text also.
Didn't you used to be able to do that? You used to be able to just say the URL.
Yeah, the URL. That's what I've used in the past. I'll just translate the entire page.
Yeah, there we go. Detect language from French to English, translate. Oh, whatever. There we go. According to this theory, therefore explained by the very official engineers. The translation is not going to be the greatest, but
Yeah, no, it's not.
the very official engineers of NIST. That's so funny.
Bastards.
But it'll give us a good idea what it's about.
Right.
That's very good.
So there's
Very good,
so
guys.
you guys learned a couple of things. You got
Very good.
Photopia.com. You can either go to image flip or this meme-generator.com if you're on your computer, just to start off creating memes. You get an image, you throw in some text and a link. I do recommend always putting a link on the image to drive traffic back to somewhere, help them learn, help them to grow. And that's that. So thank you. That was longer than 10 minutes.
Very
Yeah,
good.
totally worth it.
I
Excellent.
appreciate it, Gene. Thank you.
Yeah, very much, Mike.
Yo, Mike, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, Claudio? Hey, Alfred. Hey, Pavol,
Hey.
Sean, Ray,
Alfred.
Rose, Xiola.
So
Maybe check if they have any, do you guys have any questions about that? Is there anything, any info that would help?
I just learned one day that I could use the paint program, the simple, basic paint program that came with my computer to crop out, take a screenshot and then crop out an image. That's all I've been doing. And I was just really interested in what you said today. Thank you again.
yeah, so that's the beginning. Paint was the original, and it's very difficult to work in Paint. Once you learn the basics of either Photopia or the image flip or whatnot, I think you'll be much more better off. And we'll grow. I think as what I'll try to do every other meeting or something, maybe every meeting I take a quick 5 minutes and show you guys a quick new way of making a new meme. That way we can cover new tools and anybody.
Or even bring your own, like maybe if you have an idea and you want Gene to walk you through it, just,
Yeah,
send
that's a
over
great
an
idea.
image. Send over an image, say what, figure out what you want to say or how you might want it to look, and he'll walk you through it.
What Claudio has done with the web banners he uses, he has a template. So basically, it was that Photopia where you have the layers. All his layers are the sidebar and the 9/11 truth, and everything's on there. And now all he has to do is just change the background image, and you
Yeah,
keep
Put the
that
correct country.
Yeah, I make a template. Every single banner, for every country has a template. I update them once in a while, keep fine tuning them over time.
Yep.
And then I push, the thing is that we were getting counterfeit banners. And then they would come in and saying Judy Wood is, her stuff is, good, and architects and engineers are bad. And they were using our banners to promote that stuff. I says, holy crap. And then that's why we started to put ghost images, shadows. It was all, every single time that we get attacked, I'm saying the truth movement with bots, with trolls, and so on, disinformation agents, we learn from them.
Yep.
So they keep fine tuning us. So don't get, don't get too upset at them. Say, hey, thank you. We just learned how to kick your ass.
Or you're like me and just make it draw out into a 300 post comment post from Craig McKee.
Oh no, man. You know
I
what?
had to block someone today, Delta Kate, with the FOT banner, some nice looking blonde. She was posting flat earth and no
Really?
planes.
I got it. Well, there's a lot of advocates that are being they're hijacking their Oh, shit. I'm gonna be doing my homework on that. No, she's a good girl. She's a good girl. So she's not a flat earther, man. There's no friggin' way. But that's what they do. Like I said, look, the bad guys are not gonna let us kick their ass. They're gonna do everything in their power to muck things up. That's their job. Chaos is what maintains the matrix. And
But
so,
you know what, this comes back down to, you know, a theme that keeps recurring about how to a certain point, you cannot control what people are going to do with the tools that you give them. You know, so whether it's action groups or banners or whatever, you know, there comes a point where you just have to do what you do and hope that most people will act in good faith. And, you know,
Well, what he's
not-
saying
not
is somebody's
abuse or
copying what he's saying is somebody's copying the profile and then puts the banner up and imitates that person and goes on and starts talking about.
no, I know, but
other
I'm still
things.
saying that. I'm still saying that there's a moment where you have to understand that what you put out there may get hijacked
Yeah.
or may, you know.
they're gonna hijack everything good, everything that exposes the cabal, anything that unites us, anything that, you know, like gets us to the next level regarding 9/11 truth. They're going to do everything they can, you know, to create barriers and obstacles and divide us. Of course, that's the number one thing. You know, make sure that we got little cliques within the entire movement that can, you know, if we all got our crap together, I'm
Yep.
telling you, we get the job done.
Real quick,
ASAP.
Xiola, dang it, I forget how to say that all the time. Sorry. Rose, you have something to say?
No, I'm listening.
Yeah,
No,
hi, thanks. Yeah, thank you. I wanted to say thank you for going over that tutorial with us because I'm going to be doing my homework and trying to catch up. But if we wait for me to do what I've been trying to reach out to you, Gene. I sent you several emails last week because you had mentioned you were interested in collaborating on a few items. And so I sent you some emails early in the week and I didn't hear back. So I resent them again about midweek, didn't hear back again. And I figured, well, we're just gonna have to do this because basically we need to get a good meme together that's very strong, maybe like your WarRoom meme, and just like clear all the text off of it and put the basics on there, but also we need to start pushing for the petitions for the January lawyers thing. And have, all the information connected to that meme, the lawyers, the how-tos, because I actually had somebody from my community reach out to me this week and say, I want to learn more. And I was like, oh boy, I would wish I had a package, like a whole package together.
Yep.
Yeah, but we need to like baby steps, like you said, like say, okay, you go here, you want to check, click here, check on this, check on that. That one list you did a few weeks ago, I've been using that. As you've noticed, I've taken that and run with that. But I was thinking I wanted to get together with you and tighten up on that and really make sure we have a good meme coming forward for the new year that has all the links attached. And for the new advocate coming in saying, okay, what is this? Where do I start? Where do I go? What do I do? And like I told the guy, here are the petitions. And he's looking at it all going, wow, like he was overwhelmed to the point where he didn't even get back to me. And so I checked on him again and I says, how you doing? Are you finding everything okay? And he didn't respond, but I gave him, as that list of links that you shared a few weeks ago with the little arrows. I really like that. It's like, if you want to learn more, go here. If you want to sign the petition, go here. You do this, do that, whatever. But it could be so much better. We could really make it really nice and tight. And then when Michael Atkinson sent me the email last week, I reached out to him and said, wow, that looks so good. I really like what you did there. And he went over it with me and he sent me, a basic how-to of putting the links and putting the things. I have to do my homework on that too. But by the time I do my homework and get all this together, it's going to be past January 22nd. I really have been trying to reach out and get help sooner. And as you know, I'm very, technically challenged. So it's kind of like push comes to shove. We really need to get this meme made and up there. So, and if you look back on your emails, you'll see how many times I tried to reach you the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I know you're very, very busy. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, we need to get that meme up there and get it circulating so we can
I'm
get
not
those
sure
numbers.
what kind of meme I could make better than what I've been putting out as far as the lawyers committee.
Well, Jill, are you just basically saying find a way to incorporate all those links into
problem
an
is-
image?
You can't put the links in image because then it defeats the purpose. No one's going to retype links. They like to be able to just click.
No, you
Right.
just put one or two in the image, but when you have, okay, say you have the picture and then underneath the picture, all the text, not on the picture, but it's carried with it. So when somebody shares it on Facebook, all that text shows up underneath the picture, you know, all the information.
But that's
So you have-
automatic. But that's automatic. Any text, anything that you share from someone else is automatically going to carry over with the original text, automatically. Like,
Right,
even-
but the thing is, I wanted to get together with you guys on what exactly should be in that text. How do we want to do this going forward? Let's get this tightened up so we can get this circulating and sending out. And if you guys have, like, say, all right, so there's 5,000 signatures. I'm just saying for instance, if there's, you know, so many signatures, and say you want to get up to 6,000, say, hey guys, we really need to get these signatures up to 6,000 by January 21st. Can you help us out? Circulate this meme and let's get it going. And then
That's
by
what I
the
do every
time,
day.
you know,
That's what I do every day.
you don't use your tools, Gene. You're not using your tools. Why aren't you tagging us? I never see that. I never see it unless
don't
I go
tag
and like punch you down.
Yeah, I don't tag people. I drop it into the groups and then hopefully people will share.
Hopefully, I would hope that you would use your tools. You know,
Hey,
let's use the
does
tools that we
tagging
have
work?
at our disposal.
Does tagging work?
I'm sorry.
Does tagging work?
Yes, it
Other-
absolutely. Yes, it does work. If you go to my page and you see the post I put up the other day, and I tagged you and Sandra and a whole bunch of people in it, and honoring our fallen from this past year, it's a really big post, and it's already been shared about 10 or 11 times. People are running with it, and I haven't heard a peep from either of you guys, but that's okay. You know, no pressure. Again, I know you guys are busy. But when you have
Yeah, it's the Rudy
a
Den
very,
post, yeah. It's that one, right?
yeah, the Rudy, that's the one. That's the one right there. Yep. And you make a post like this and you just let it go, and everything that's connected to that, people will read it. And then when they share it, the people that see their shares will share it or read it too. When you click on see more, see down there on see more is where we want to put
Yeah,
all
but
the information
and
that
I don't
everybody's
mean-
gonna need.
I don't mean anything bad by this, Xiola, but right there, it's you and two other people. But then if I make a post to 9/11,
No, that's not the original one. That's Tina's share. If you go down to the original share,
Oh.
you'll see that it's really actually pretty big. Go back
let me go back.
and go to the original post. That's when, because that was Tina's share. Only two people like that. So go all the way down, not all the way down, but a little bit further down than Tina's post. Because Tina tagged me.
There we
when
go.
she shared
Okay.
it. So,
Right on. I got you now.
Tina,
Thank you.
so go down a little bit more.
That's you, isn't it?
There we go.
Yep.
83, we got 10 shares, 83 likes,
Right on.
47 comments.
10 shares. That's beautiful. That's where the
Yeah,
power
and
is.
that's
in
just the
share.
beginning. I just posted this, 2 days ago? This is gonna be flying for a while. It should get up to around anywhere
It-
between 150 to 200 shares within a month or two.
I guess I just
No.
hate being, I don't like, not that I don't like it. I don't care if people tag me as many times as you like. But I got 5,000 people and I never know you're only allowed to tag, 99 people or something. I don't want to sit there and tag people.
Yeah, and it's a long process also. You have to tag people one by one, or you have to search by name and stuff like that. So it's a little tedious if you want to take the long route,
Well,
but it may be worth it.
may I say something
Yeah.
regarding? All right, so two things. When somebody's posting regarding flat Earth, just reach out to them, see how they respond. They respond with anger, irrationally. If
Claudia,
this person-
you're totally taking this somewhere else now.
Because I have to
Are
go.
we going back to what we were talking about before?
I just say I got before, because I gotta go. Gotta walk
Okay.
the dogs. So before I go,
Okay.
I wanted to say something.
Okay, sorry.
Anyway, no, I'll save it for next time. I gotta go. All right, bye.
See you, buddy.
All right.
Thanks for stopping in.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
So here's a great
Bye.
example. Harry Patterson dropped this meme, which is a Larry Payne meme, I think. He got 785 likes. He didn't tag anybody in it. He just dropped it in the 9/11 Truth Movement. What's discouraging for me is nobody shared it. Like, oh, you can't. It's a private group. That's right.
Yeah, you can't, no.
Don't.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Truth Movement page, yeah.
Let me go to 1 million people for 9/11 Truth. See if this was supposed to be like the.
Yeah, it's
The op-
almost like, what's the point if you're gonna put something in there like that and it's just gonna sit? We're all,
Yeah, a private
you know,
group. You're
we're
right.
preaching to the choir. We're preaching to the choir. We all know this stuff. We're all like, okay, yeah, cool, you know, post or whatever. Where's it gonna go? What's it gonna do? What's the point? Let's use the tools we have at our fingertips to make
Yeah, but
this
tagging your
really
friends
work.
is still tagging your. I'm not. Forgive my tone if it's coming off or off. I'm not meaning to come off or off, but like tagging our friends is just basically the same echo chamber.
Not really, because their friends see it too. Like I've got some people I've never even met before coming on to my post inquiring and, you know, friend requests and all kinds of things. And if you do that, you know, you really want to reach out and branch out, or do you want to stay in a teeny tiny little group echo chamber where you're really not going to do anything? I mean, the point of this whole thing is to make this work and branch out. If we're going to keep ourselves in groups and not share, not tag, and not use the tools, what's the fucking point, right?
So when you're saying not use the tools,
we have. Sorry for the F word.
when you say tools, though, I am using the tools. I guess my perspective
You're
of
not
looking at it is
using
we have 42,000 people in one group and 17,000 people in another group, and less than 0.001% of them do anything. So I'm trying to inspire them to, and I've started to do it where I'm going down through the users lists on my own timeline, my own friends, and ask them, did you sign the lawyers committee petition? Did you sign the AE petition? There's no reason those 42,000 people in those group and 17 in the other one shouldn't have their names on these petitions, shouldn't be donating at least $1 a month.
You've got an awful lot of gatekeepers, agents, shills, and trolls in there as well. These are things to be considered.
Yeah, but out of the 42,000 people,
Yeah, they're not the majority. They're a fraction of them.
No, but look at the action you're getting back. You just said you're not getting any action. Why is that? Gee, I wonder.
they're
Let's
lazy.
take a closer look. Because for one, you've got a lot of gatekeepers in there, and for two, you're not utilizing the tool to their full potential.
Tech
What
is
was that,
control.
Sean?
Yeah, what did Sean say?
I was just gonna ask real quick.
I
Oh,
said,
hold on, Mike.
just one moment.
Okay.
Tech
Go
is
ahead.
controlled.
I'm
Tech
missing
is
the first
controlled.
word.
Facebook and Twitter, they're all controlled. If they don't want your word getting out, they're not going to let it out.
All right.
Well, there's that, yeah.
The algorithms, yeah. Mike, you were saying?
I was just gonna say, I certainly don't mean anything negative when I ask this, but Gene, when did you find out the Twin Towers were blown up largely on live TV? What year?
What year did I believe something was wrong?
What year did you find out the Twin Towers were blown up on live TV? Yeah.
I'd like to know that too.
Well, that day I was standing in front of the TV and Brian Gumbel said, there's been a second plane hit the second tower. This has to be the lady goes, it's a terrorist attack. And he says, what makes you think that? And I screamed the F word at the TV and said, because planes don't hit the towers twice in a row. I knew right then. That's just
Okay. Well, I was just curious. And the reason I wanted to say that is because as a veteran who joined the military about a year before 9/11 and who got a job driving the highest ranking NCO in Army Aviation on the day of 9/11. He was at the Pentagon. And so he didn't get killed. He made it back 2 days later. And, you know, it looked like the buildings were kind of blowed up to me, but Fort Rucker went on lockdown and all that. So I'm just, to wrap it up, I'm saying that I was real suspicious when it happened, but I didn't have too much time to think because I got sent to Kuwait, Africa, and Iraq soon after that for the war on terror. And I got an honorable discharge that I never even asked for, but I didn't argue with in 2004.
Right.
And so what I'm trying to say is since 2007, when I really discovered AE 9/11 truth and it really sank into my head.
Yep.
So since 2007 to 2000, probably 16, something like that, was when I was just like you, Gene. I was just like you. But man, I'm only a human being. I got to the point where I can't stand any of those groups. I got to the point where I don't want to tell nobody to sign no petitions. Man, I got to the point to where, you know, I just share the best truth I can. And if y'all notice, I share stuff that is true. I mean, if you got any sense, it looks like it's true and it's related. That's why I send all this stuff, you know, and I just want you to know that sharing the best truth we can about false flags, wars of aggression, lies of history. I mean, I've got some stuff I'm scared to even send some of y'all, man. I mean, really.
Yeah,
I mean, it takes stages to understand this stuff.
Yes.
But, you know, a lot of mainstream history we have been told for over 100 years is false, okay?
Yes.
I'm trying to get people to understand. I mean, you know, Ron Paul got me to understand the neocons. He got me to understand, he don't talk about 9/11, but he got me to understand the neocons, our rights, the Federal Reserve, wars of aggression versus war, you know, and all this. And, you know, so you learn that, and then, you know, what else is there really to learn? Well, you can learn about the Oklahoma City bombing scam. You can learn about the USS Liberty scam. They don't talk about none of that, but you can learn this on your own. You know, you can learn about
USS Maddox and the torpedo that never happened.
Affair, you know.
So Michael,
this is all relevant, you know.
Yeah, but who do you reach out to and how do you do it if you're not doing it through social media?
Well,
just let me quickly say, I think what it boils down to, it's whatever each person feels comfortable doing and your own method of how you do it. Michael has his way of doing it. Xiola has her way of doing it. I have my way of doing it. We all have their own. When we talk about this, it's great because it'll trigger little things that, oh, I could be doing something a little differently, even though I still like it my way. But we're all a body doing things differently. And as long as we just keep doing what we're doing, we're doing good. So go ahead, Mike, sorry.
Okay, no, that's all right. I just wanted to ask you that because you are one of the most passionate guy I know about 9/11 truth. And I just, you know, I know that you probably feel horrible that so many people ignore us like I do. And I just wanted to ask you, when did you really wake up to this? Because after so long, man,
yeah,
you know, after so long, I realized that I have just got to find whatever uncorrupt media exists, all, you know, the new ones coming out that are still fledgling. I've got to get on them and share the best truth I can. And I've already said it a while ago, you know, USS Liberty, you know, all this stuff, you know, I mean, sir, no, sir, the suppressed GI movement to end the war in Vietnam, I think that's relevant, you know, so that's why I send y'all all this stuff, you know.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Has anybody had time to watch James Corbett's 2-part series I sent, False Flags, the History of Al-Qaeda?
I started it. I started it. Yeah.
He seems credible enough for me to share that with y'all, so I did.
Yep. As I could say, my first marriage, I was told at a certain point, I don't want to talk about this at all anymore. So it was no longer talking about 9/11 at all. And then 2008, I think it was when the NIST, the final report came out, and AE was starting to pick up steam, and I was really into that. And that divorced in 2011, and then I got remarried like 2 years later, and very minimally. I kind of waffled back and forth because she also wasn't into it as much as I thought. And then when that divorce unfortunately happened in 2016, I was like a rabid dog on 9/11 every day with like the passion of a son, which, you know, I'm asking Andy Steele, I want to connect with people in Pittsburgh, and he's going, no. That's the simple version. And it just, I stepped on toes and I pissed people off, and I just want to connect with people. I just want this truth. I want to win this, and we got to do something different, because doing the same thing is not working.
But that's why we have 911public.org now.
Yeah. And I just I want to share this. This is a little insider thing for all you guys. I just can't believe this is happening. So Richard Gage had a falling out with AE, and he's on his own, doing his own thing now. And he actually wouldn't talk to me for years, because he said, you have to solve the patch with Andy. And it was almost like there was something at the board of AE where it was like he wasn't allowed to talk to me. And in the last couple of weeks, because I'm in all of his chats, all of his interviews, I'm always asking questions. I just love it. And he's reached out for me to help with some media things for his new website and stuff. And I'd have never, ever thought that was ever going to happen. And I'm truly humbled to be able to work with Richard Gage again. The people aren't poisoning the well of who I am in his ear. And that's truly humbling and truly an amazing thing. I never thought it would happen, but it's really nice to be able to help. So I hope that we continue to see interviews that are really in depth, he's going to be tackling the Pentagon and stuff like that. He's going to be giving people their own abilities to be able to state where they're at, and he's taking on some heavy issues. And he's working with the Lawyers Committee, and they want to create a movie now from the 60 exhibits. And just ideas that I've been harping on for a year now, over a year, and things are coming together. It's amazing the doors that have opened and closed in the past year. And I don't know. I would say it's amazing what prayer could do, but we'll just see what things happen here. So,
whatever happened to our, when we were doing the 9/11 down in New York, and you wanted the interviews of people. In our group, we always used to go around and talk about how we became involved. And for a new person, it was very helpful to know who we were and how we were involved, and what got us started. And Sandra, you ended up doing that whole collage of people that,
Oh, Jean did that.
Oh, Jean did that, all right.
I just hounded everyone to submit their videos.
Okay,
it
so,
was a
I
wee
mean,
thing.
somehow that's I think really helpful for anybody that's new to the group. And Mike, I sort of would be reassuring if you could hear everybody's story without it taking up.
No, Mike is part of that clip.
Yeah.
He is, all right, I didn't know.
Yeah.
What's that? I'm part of what?
You're part of the clip, the anniversary clip that we made, where we asked everyone to say in 30 seconds or so who they are, where they are, and why they're still fighting for 9/11 truth.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Jean, just when we're done with that, Curtis had his hand up. He wanted to say something.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Well, hold on. Don't, not just two things at the same time.
So here's the 20th anniversary, and it was a great idea. And Sandra and I did have hopes that we were going to go to New York and be able to interview people. But then once you get to New York and everything starts to happen, it's just
the logistics of that were very.
Yeah. Mike Atkinson is in here. Where was he?
Yeah, he is. You just passed him before.
Did I pass him? No. Miles. Al. He was near Al.
I thought he was earlier. No, that's too early. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, so we took a clip. We asked for 30 seconds, but I dig it. 30 seconds was too short, but this was it was good to see people's faces, who they are. Just helps identify the movement, give personality to the movement. I love that.
Yeah, put literally the face of truth on it.
It really is easy. Each of us can take our phone and go to our closest city and say, what do you think of 9/11 or whatever, and just take a quick 30-second clip. But I think we're all introverts. Nobody likes to be the extrovert going face to face with people, because that interaction could be volatile.
It's hard. It's not easy.
It is hard. But yeah, go ahead, Curtis.
And take off the screen share.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just going to suggest taking Rose's idea up. She brought up something to try, and I don't know. How do you know it's not going to work unless you try it? So that's all. That's all I was going to say.
Yep. I guess how do I say? I don't want to sit and tag 99 people every time I make a post. I make a dozen posts a day. If I try to tag 99 people every time,
I'm looking at it as just an experience I had being a business owner. When you have an employee that comes forward with good ideas, you gotta give them a chance. You can't kick them to the curb, so to say. Just give it a shot. Try your idea out for a month and just try it and see what happens.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say this. If I make my million freaking thing, and I come up here and I want to tag people, for me to sit here, why is no people showing up? Usually shows friends.
Gene, it's really not that hard. It takes all of maybe 4 or 5 minutes to tag the 100 people. And once you do it and you put that post out there and it flies, it really does get some traction. I mean, like you see that post I made 2 days ago and how it's flying. People are really appreciating it. We can stay in an echo chamber and pat each other on the back all day long, but that's really not going to get us where we need to be.
Those 100 people, can't you create a group and just tag it into that group and use the same group of people every time?
Or a copy and paste?
They won't let you copy and
By
paste.
creating a group instead of going and clicking 100 names every time. Can't you just create a group with 100 names and just tag it to that group every time you make it?
Well, here's part of the problem I'm telling you right now. Facebook will screw with you, and Facebook screws with me as it is here. It won't let me tag anybody. It won't bring up one of my friends. Oh, there they go. I have to actually put in a letter. Oh, there now they came up. For me to sit here and go for 99 times.
And which 99 names are you going to pick out of 5,000? I mean, you can't really go through 5,000 names.
And it wouldn't even let me pick that. It wouldn't let me pick 5 people. Let's put like another letter in here.
You guys are being like sandpaper.
When I do my tagging, I'll make my post and then I'll say tag people. I'll go A. I'll pick all my A's that are on board. I'll go B. I go through the whole alphabet. Yes, it takes a few minutes, but is it worth it? Absolutely.
I would disagree, but not with the amount of posts that I do in a day. I just can't.
Go ahead, Rose. Go ahead and do it, girl. You go on it.
Well, okay, I could sit here and say the same thing, Curtis. Again, pardon my tone here, but I could say, okay, I want everyone to go out here and create thought-provoking memes and put them out all over, not only in the echo chambers, but I want you to go out to firefighters, other groups, get bands, do what I do, go out. I want you to put in business cards and flyers, and everybody does what they can do and what they do and how they like it and what works for them. I love the idea of hearing it. It's not going to work for me, but I'm not saying not to do it. I don't know why. I don't know if it's coming off bad or what. But.
Okay, you could do 10 or 20 posts on your page a day and get a couple of likes on each post, or you can make one kick-ass post once every 3 or 4 days and watch it fly. Claudio taught me that one. That was one of the basics. Some of the tools he taught me early on. You make a post and you make that post count. You keep going back to that one post, that one strong post.
Yeah.
Like right now I have my post that's honoring the fallen. that's going to be my main post for a while. I'm not going to sit there and clog up my feed with a bunch of BS. I'm going to let that shine for a few days.
Salad Rose.
Well, and Xiola, I mean, I don't think Xiola is saying to do this with every post that you put up. I think she's just saying,
Right.
you know, for the ones that really matter and for the ones that could carry a lot of weight and reach really far, that she thinks that it would be worth the effort to invest into those posts to do the tagging and see where it takes you.
So if I go in here and I pick an image and I want to tag people,
Maybe that's not the image you want to go with, though.
no, I know, but I'm just like, there, I click that, I'll hit like another letter. That didn't work. Oh, there we go. Hit all these people. No. E. Why is it only letting me pick one?
And the problem right now, though, is unless you target them specifically, in your case, since you have 5,000 people, who knows who's actually going to be tagged, right? Like you want to tag people who have a chance of like sharing it and taking it forward.
You see what
right?
I'm going to have to go through to do this? I get to pick one name. Come up here, pick it up again. There. Come here and pick it, because Facebook screws with it. Now, if I go to one of my other profiles, let's go to Janice Laratonda's. Come on. Why didn't it go? There we go. Now I try it here. Try to tag somebody. And now all the names show up. Like it screws with you.
Interesting.
I'm still doing this. I'd have to go
Yeah,
one
right.
by one. Yeah, it would take me 5 minutes, but I don't. Okay, thank you.
And just because a quick note, because you mentioned something which I think is also a super useful tool. What Gene does, he inserts himself into groups that are not 9/11 groups, but they're groups of architects or firefighters or whatever.
Guerrilla arts, anything.
Yeah, and
Engineers. Yeah.
right, whatever is tangential, kind of like, you know, related to the, you know.
I definitely reach outside the choir.
Right. Yeah, and you try your luck with trying to post something there, something soft to begin with, to make sure you don't ruffle any feathers, and see what the feedback is and see if anybody reacts to it. And, you know, so that's a way of reaching outside the choir also.
And then
Because now
getting
you're
out
just,
the IRL in real life, actually going out and putting flyers and business cards and yard signs and like, yeah.
Yeah, and the cool thing about tagging is when you tag people, it shows up on their page. I've actually had people write me in Messenger and say, thank you so much for the tag. I'm in Facebook jail right now. And if it wasn't for you tagging me, I wouldn't have any posts going on my page. Like on your Gene page, if you go to your Gene page right now and you scroll down, those are all going to be quite a few posts from me, because I've been tagging you. Rob Cox, the same thing. Quite a few others as well. And Cass wrote me yesterday and he said, thank you so much for the tags. You're really inspiring me to get fired up and get back in, you know, get my ball back in the game. So I tagged him on my New Year to-do list, because anybody who's interested in doing and getting back in and actually, you know, wanting to do something. I think I only tagged like 6 people in there, but there's 6 people that I'm either working with or they're interested in working or getting involved in some way. So that's kind of a reminder. Hey, here's my to-do list where, you know.
All right.
So it's on your page. You're going to see it. You can't get away from it. I'm sharing it with everybody this time, because I could sit there and have my to-do list to myself and work on it, or I could let everybody know what I'm doing and see if anybody wants to jump in and
Well,
get
then
involved.
I'll make another one of I'll brainstorm a sign the petitions one, and I'll try tagging people and see if I get any return on it. But we'll see. Go ahead, Mike.
I
Okay.
just want to say real quickly what I was telling Xiola the other day. She asked how to give her some tips on how I create those emails. And I don't know how you guys do it, But in Gmail, I just created a text file on my desktop, and that's where I put all my information and I save it. Because when you copy stuff from the internet, paste it to a text file, it takes all the code away. And then when you copy it again, it's great. You post it anywhere. So that's how I save all my information, is in a text file on my desktop. I have another text file where I list all in one line, all my contacts. I just started doing this a couple of months ago. And when I started doing it, my Gmail got hacked as of about 2 months ago. I can't even use my Google voice call. And so I had to switch to, I mean, I can get in Gmail, but I can't see the damn buttons and nothing. It's all screwed up. And so I had to switch to Proton Mail. And I just want to let y'all know that. And I think mass emailing is pretty great, you know?
Yep. Yeah, for those that aren't part of Mike's mailing list, he puts out these updates, weekend tidbits, and it's packed full of information.
Yeah, it is full, yeah.
That's great.
I do my best, I promise. If you ever see anything bad linked to what I send, I didn't mean to. It's hard to get rid, you know, it's really hard to not accidentally send bad stuff every now and then.
Yep.
But I do my best, I really do.
Thank you. Kat, you have anything to share?
Hey, Kat.
Good to see you is here as well.
Yeah, how's it going? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You too.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed the meme making part. I think that's I mean, I kind of know how to make them a little, but not that good. I mean, I usually just use my phone to do stuff.
Yep.
And I do have Photoshop that I don't use so much. I mean, you know, to be honest, like I do like activism full time, and I've done activism full time for a long time. You know, I'm like, I just don't see any other way to live.
Right.
And I don't know how people have time for regular jobs, to be honest. Like, there's so much work to be done. I mean, like, we're screwed. I mean, seriously. I mean, anybody that, you know, has seen anything that I post, you know, I'm literally like, I woke up 5 decades ago and I've been studying stuff ever since. And everything that people are talking about today is just, you know, the macro of the micro, I'm always calling it. And I mean, the people have been their own enemy for so long, and I've been trying to get people to see like other things way before like 9/11 and stuff. And yeah, it is not
Keep doing what
easy.
you're doing. That's good.
Yeah, well, you know, I hope I don't end up homeless. I got robbed of $8,100 in Bitcoin recently.
Wow.
From somebody posing as somebody else on Instagram. And that was you know, so I'm trying to, I know, sorry, my voice shakes. You know, so yeah, like I try to make like fundraisers just to kind of compensate. So I could just, you know, do all the stuff that I do. I mean, it's not even complicated. It's like so simple. I mean, I started from the place of, you know, like child abuse and the abusive family system. And like, nobody ever even wanted to hear about that. I mean, people never wanted to hear uncomfortable truths and facts because it, you know, it forces them to have to get it in gear and take action. And they just never wanted to do it. And they just kept kicking the debt can down the road for decades and decades, you know, literally enabling the sociopaths to just do what they do. I mean, if the people would just stop funding, you know, the criminals financially and, you know, psychologically, I mean, it's not really that complicated.
Right. Well, you pick what drives you and go with it.
I just want to say real quick, I'm not trying to be negative again, but I want to let y'all know that I have had a couple of friends of mine, and even my father, who my mother left when I was 1 year old. These people I'm telling you, they are mentally, I don't want to say weak, but you can think that if you want to, but they just, my father is married to his third wife. And because of the way his third wife's fantasy world is, he sits back and watches me suffer. My own father, because of my stepmother's fantasy land, okay? That's what we're dealing with all over America, probably, you know?
I mean, we seriously have a raging health crisis. I mean, I mean, it's really like bad health crisis, like a mental and physical health crisis, but, you know, mostly like psychological and emotional. And I mean, I find it easy. I mean, you know, for just, I studied the family system, and once you could understand how a dysfunctional or abusive family system functions, then you just expand that, and it literally makes it so much easier to understand the entire, you know, global, you know, national, you know, world of system and how it functions. I mean, I never expected like the abusive family system to be this large. And, you know, and for the majority of people to just like truly be adult children, you know, just developmentally arrested. They never grow up. You know, the cord never gets cut. You know, people never get to be the fucking healthy adult, the unique adult that they're meant to be in this world. And they don't see it. Like it doesn't bother, you know, I mean, decade after decade would go by, and I'm like, everything was always so obvious to me since the 70s. That our health was under attack on so many levels. You know, you weren't being truly raised, you know, to be like, you know, fully empowered and educated or anything like that.
Yeah, but that's systemic. I mean, so many people are emotionally crippled.
Yeah.
And they don't have the tools to, you know, not everybody can go to therapy, and not everybody has the will to break cycles. It's unbelievably hard to break a cycle, and not that it excuses anybody, but you're up against a huge wall of a lot of things that are all intertwined. And I mean, hats off to you to try, you know, to try to take it head on, but it's massive. It's absolutely massive.
Believe me, I know, you know. But I mean, if we came together, like if the people, someone said it earlier, like if we united, you know, and came together, you know, as a people, I mean.
Well, that would require for people to take responsibility, and that is the first thing that goes.
Sandra and I were talking about this. I'll go to the Rose, you're up, and then Ray, and then Sean. But real quick, Sandra and I were talking about this last night, and there's a great quote, and I said it before, where George Carlin says, "Imagine the average stupid person and realize that half of them are stupider than that." And it's least common denominator. And there's people that really, they just don't want bothered. They want their simple life. And even if you're trying to tell truth, you're impacting that peace that they had. They don't even want to hear the truth because it's going to disrupt their simple little Lego life, if you will.
I know. I mean, I knew this again, like decades ago. I just didn't think it would, you know, I didn't think it was this much of a pandemic like this. You know, it's just a mental health pandemic, mental illness, like adult child pandemic. And you know, so, you know, like at some point I just kind of wonder, and, you know, like if the powers that be just don't have it right and just wanting to freaking like eliminate some people. I mean, if they're not going to be, you know, real adults and take responsibility, then I mean, it's like, it's not even the powers that be that are the problem. It's people that are the problem.
People are doing it to themselves. And
this is a great conversation for when we have the psychologists on. That would be a good one.
Yeah, that's true.
Xiola, you had something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that Proton Mail is really great. I opened up a Proton Mail and I really like it a lot. And we really should all have a Proton Mail. It's much safer. It's encrypted messages and very much safer than Google. And
Yep.
on the broken family thing, as far as the broken family thing, she's absolutely right. We need to use our story to help others to come out and say, hey, you know what? My mother and father both died of alcohol and drugs at a very young age, and it's because of our family system, the way it was set up. I come from an extremely wealthy family, so freaking wealthy that they disowned my father for choosing to go with my mother, who was a has-been actress and singer entertainer. I'm going to come out about all of this very soon, but I'm related to some people that are not so nice. And it's a doozy. I've asked several people over the years to interview me about it. Nobody wants to take me up on it just because of who it is. And well, I could drop a truth bomb right here, right now, but I'm a little concerned to do so. But I'll just say, if you've ever heard of Clifton's Cafeterias, Clifford Clinton of Clifton's is my great-grandfather. And Clifton's Cafeterias is a restaurant chain, is very well known, and it's a very swanky joint. The main one is in Los Angeles. And my grandmother, Jean Clinton Rochlob, oh boy, I'm going to tell you more about this very soon, but this is some major stuff.
Okay,
And they put my dad through Brown University, and then they dumped him on his ass because he did not want to comply with their BS. And he went with my mother, who is one of the original Mouseketeers. I'll just leave it at that. I'm done. More on that later.
Okay, Xiola, I'm just going to throw this out there. I mean, Catherine does do interviews and shows, and since you guys are somehow connecting on this, I mean, and you guys do what you want, but I'm just trying to, like, to me, it's just jumping out at me that right now this might be the perfect setup if it's an interview that Catherine wants to do and that you're willing to do with her.
I mean, anybody who wants to reveal, the truth, they're welcome for sure.
Yeah, I'm just
That'd
saying
be a
you guys
good
might want to
connection.
connect with each other.
You two should connect with each other.
Xiola Moon, we're connected on, I hate to say Fedbook, but, and then we can connect via email.
And if you're both signed up on 911public.org, your contact information is there as well.
Plug that.
Yeah, I'll connect with you because I can send you a few things that you missed from earlier. I've got 2 links on the meme making stuff. I'll catch you up on that. Okay.
Cool. This will be posted later.
Yeah, we'll post this one for sure, and then all the steps will be available to you.
Yeah, I think memes are real good, and I want to make better ones on my computer, not just on my phone for like Instagram,
Yeah, then watch this again when we upload it.
Yep. Ray, you're up.
Yeah, hello.
Good to see you. Happy
Good
New Year.
evening.
Hi, Ray.
Good evening. I posted some information in the chat about FEMA getting funds for the relief of the attacks, and that was posted in I think also September. And they mentioned the use of fire and explosives, and I thought that was really nice to see that at that time they were still thinking explosions were sufficient to get relief funds. So they mention explosions in the article, and I posted it in the chat, so you can take it as you like. I made some screenshots. Maybe you can show it or whatever, share it with the group. I don't know if that's possible, Gene.
Desktop.
I highlighted the explosions part.
All right.
But it's from FEMA, and you see it's 25 September. So it's shortly after the attacks. And then they mention fires and explosions. So they give the explosions a kind of a weight in in their notice, and I think that's really good to see that at a point in time, explosions were playing a part in the mindset of people,
Yes.
and
and I
that's the basis of 9/11 explosions, you know, even
Yep.
at the Pentagon, because the second one was about, this is not Virginia, but it's the other one. It's about the attack on the Pentagon, and they also mention fire and explosions. So it's really fascinating to see this the way they word these things in official notices.
Excellent.
And even coming back to FEMA, they got grants for this, so they are really obliged to also give information about what they found. Huh?
Yep. I got
So
a
it's
hand to you
maybe
guys.
a useful thing. Somebody sent this to me last week, and I thought it was really
Thank you.
it was good to watch. So
So for
maybe
those,
that's new
I guess,
news.
let me give a Cliff Notes version of Ray. So he's also another guy that also is very frequent in the YouTube channel chat when Richard does interviews. He and I are probably there almost every time, I think. And I called him out a couple times because it seems like he's asked these questions are out of right field from the people that are being interviewed. But they were spot on when Wayne Costi was there, because he again gets into Ray. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Ray wants to know about the explosions that happened in addition to what the planes did and what any other explosives were in the building. I think I'm really explaining that poorly, but there was an explosion from the plane, but then there seems to be, I think Ray is leaning that there's something else that exploded when the plane struck the buildings.
I'm not the only one who thinks that. It's not new. It's not new.
So it's the
It's
he's
not
looking
that
at
it's
the-
not new, but it's not being investigated, and I think that's the most definitive part of the explosion, as the plane crashes, that it
Yeah.
has not been investigated. And if that's my point. My point is really very the plane crashes are the most uninvestigated part of 9/11. 4 planes
Not
crashed.
investigated by who, Ray? Because right now it's
Not
being
even by
investigated
us. Not even by us. The Truth Movement has not investigated this. The official story has not investigated this. It has not been investigated. And that is the if you look at a plane crashing, and you imagine that people who went to the crashes and said this was not a plane crash, what happened then? If it was not a plane crash, but a plane crashed, something is off, you know. And if you look at the videos of the plane crashes, but you listen to the plane crashes, you hear the explosion, and it's massive. It's really the recordings of the plane crashing into the buildings. You hear an explosion that's can only come from the use of explosives.
So he looks into, I think you were dabbling into like the volume of the fireball that was
No, the sound
sound.
of the explosion is definitive of the use of explosives.
Okay.
Because you can only get a sonic boom by the use of high explosives. It's
Okay.
impossible to get it from from burning fuel. The burning fuel makes a sound like woof. It's a very long, and it's not a sudden explosion. If you get a sudden explosion, you get a sonic boom. And if you listen to the plane crashes in New York, you hear it. You hear it on an Ardei film. You hear it on videos. You hear the sonic boom, and the sonic boom is the use of explosives. There's no other way you can create a sonic boom without
okay,
explosives.
just a quick question. How does it ultimately completely change the, you know, I mean, this would be in addition to controlled demolition and explosives placed inside the buildings to bring them down. This would
Yes.
obviously add an extra layer, but how does it make a significant impact on what we're already saying?
No, but because it's not only the explosion. What happens is the plane crashes, results in a lot of destruction of the tower, and that part was left out of the NIST report. Everything you see ejected out of the building when the explosion takes place is not in the NIST report. So they look at the plane crashing in, the kinetic energy is measured, everything is calculated in that part, but the explosion itself is not calculated.
Okay, but so,
And that's
and therefore, what's your therefore in the sentence?
It results in high temperature on a floor, and it comes out of the South Tower on that floor where the plane crashes. Everything comes on that place. And if you take out that part of the destruction of the towers, you have an invalid report. Your report is not consistent with what happened.
Okay, so basically we're offering up another inconsistency.
It's a big one.
Yeah, no, right, but we're adding to the elements that can be held against the official narrative.
Yes, but also with the Pentagon, there was a very massive explosion. That explosion is not calculated. If the damage done to the Pentagon was not only by a plane, it has to be explosives combined at that point. So you have two things. You have a plane and you have explosives, and if they come together, you get the Pentagon. And if you have the same with Shanksville, you have a plane and it goes down in a field, but it's not just a plane crash. Something happened there that was more powerful than a plane crash on its own. So you combine the explosive and the plane, and that
Are you talking about the hole that was made in the ground?
It's a bomb crater. It's really, if you look from above and you look how the soil goes up, because if you have a bomb near the
There was actually aerial photography of that cut was in the ground before 9/11.
Yeah, but I've seen that. That was a thought process but you really see the imprint of the wings and the tail part in the soil, and in the middle of that you have this big bomb crater, and the only way to get a crater is that you explode near the ground or on the ground. The soil goes up and then it goes back again. And that also explains why they found plane parts underneath the soil, because the crater was filled back again with fallback, they call it. When you have an explosion,
Cause that
it's
as well.
fallback.
Go ahead, Curtis.
Could have caused that.
Say it again, Curtis.
That the force of impact could have caused all of that as well.
No.
That plane had to be going really fast.
Yeah, but it didn't.
There's no doubt about that.
People saw it upside down.
Yeah, we're gonna get into.
Now we're getting back into it now.
Yeah, but it's if you leave out explosions in 9/11, then you never get the truth, and that's what the government did. They left out the explosions.
Just like in the Oklahoma City bombing scam, if you want to research that, same thing.
Yeah, but they had also a name for that. The FBI, they called their investigation into that part also with a bomb. It was a similar.
Nobody from the FBI got hurt that day in a building that FBI offices. Yeah.
Yeah, but 9/11 is about explosions, and people don't know a lot about what jet fuel is and what explosions are,
Right.
and like every fire is an explosion. No, it's not true. There's a lot of differences in what we call something and what it really is.
So fire departments differentiates between incendiaries, propellants, and explosives.
Yeah. But if we say that like Costa was on with gauge, and if you listen to him, he only talks about propellants, but then he really has no thought about how the propellant will be so much powerful, because the force per square inch, it's not there. It's a theory which is not really based on a solid foundation, and you don't have to do that. You only have to look at what NIST and the official stories did not investigate. I think that's really a way forward for us, that we get into this the official stories, and they are our enemy, not we are friends. You know, we're all in the mindset, we know we were lied to.
Yes.
We all have that, and I think that getting into the official stories, reading them, analyzing them, and deconstructing them is a way that we have a solid basis of thinking for ourselves.
I look forward to continued good questions for you, listen to the interviews, and as Richard continues to dive into these things, you might be able to help uncover some things and get people thinking differently. So
yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Yeah.
Okay, I think Michael's been wanting to respond for a while, and Xiola also just raised her hand, but I think Michael just didn't raise his hand, but he's been gesticulating that he's wanting to say something.
I just was gonna ask Ray, would you mind if I put you on my mass email list, so I'll make and send information to you when I send it to everybody else? The reason I ask that is because you seem really focused on, that's good that you are focused to try to help us in this cause, but you do seem to kind of stay really focused on, explosions, when, man, there's a whole lot more than that to spread to people,
No, but
more than that.
I understand, but it's for me, it's what I can prove.
Mm-hmm. That's his interest. That's his thing.
And that's you can talk about all Arab names and fill 1 hour with that, but it's unprovable to know for us who was controlling the planes. It's really unprovable for us. We were not there. There's no video. There's no knowledge of who flew it. So the whole, what you can prove is science. Science is provable. And that's why I stay and have looked at the controlled demolition for very long, and in my opinion, it is only hinting towards the use of explosives. But then I wanted to know how explosives were used, because that nanothermite was found, I think, is documented. It's there. It's right in front of us, but how it was used, at what time it was used, when it was used, and what it did, the result of the use of the nanothermite is where I went and focused my attention to. So I'm only looking at explosions, and when I hear explosions, I've done 4 years only looking at the explosions over the whole world. And
it's, you know what, and it's totally fine. And it's like, like Jean said, it's like we're discovering, really that everybody has a little bit of an angle or a specific interest or their own particular elephant in the room, or the thing that they think is like the deal breaker or whatever it is. And I mean, the important thing is that we all, move forward with what speaks to our own truth as being the most important to focus on, our own tools. Hopefully we can do it together with someone else who's, working in the same way, and combine our forces. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what matters. Yeah, there's a lot more than explosives, but if that's what Ray is, focused on and specializing in, trying to get the answers to, then we're all better for it.
Yeah.
I just want to say one last thing, and I want to just suggest this to y'all. Some of y'all may already have thought about this, but it finally occurred to me one day Okay, we know the buildings was blown up with some kind of explosives. The reason we know that is because you can see it. It's just that simple. After that, I finally came to the realization that the perpetrators of 9/11 would have never rigged those buildings with explosives like that just to rely on any kind of real hijackers and real hijackings pulling off all the rest of it for them. That's what led me to what Dan Hanley says. You know, so y'all just think about that if you've never thought about that before.
Yeah. I just want to go give Xiola a chance to respond also.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to follow up with Ray on that NIST report and see if he had a chance to get it started. And if not, I'd be willing to help you, Ray, if you wanted some help with that. If you give me a generalization of, like, say you go, okay, NIST page 26, I want you to highlight this, that, and the other. You know, we need to get like a synopsis together on a few page report, so we could put it into layman's terms, and also a report for Richard Gage, probably 2 different ones, one for us and then one to present to Richard Gage to say, you know, can you do your report on this, Richard? Here's what we'd like to see. So that's just one thing I wanted to follow up.
I have contact with Richard, but it's a one-way ticket.
Understood that many years.
Oh, that's fine. But if you wanted
it's for me. It's what I have to say is really not highlighted, and some people are really confined in their own explanation of that day. And for me, what I say is not from me. You know, it's I've studied 9/11 now for 9 years straight, and it's not my truth. It's the fucking truth. The fucking truth is explosives were used, and the buildings were blown up, but they're not the way we might think it was. But right in front of our eyes, we were never explained what happened right in front of our eyes. We were never explained that what happened there was more than just planes hitting. And that's the thing, that the whole thing is that you really leave out the destruction caused by those explosions, because I've seen the body parts on the street and they were not big. They were like tiny body parts of humans spread out over the streets of New York before the towers came down. And that's not a plane crash. That's an explosion of a plane with its passengers and everything inside.
All right, Ray.
But it's not another part that we focus on, and I think that's a shame.
You see what Gene's doing?
Yeah, it's a fucking.
Just turned you into a meme.
No, I'm just joking. I won't put that one out, but that's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
It is a fucking turn.
Well, we still need your report. I mean, if you wanted to get together with someone
it's not my report.
You have your expertise. You have your expertise in the explosion department. Not a report. I'm just saying a synopsis of a report. We need something that is presentable to the people, and we also need something that is presentable to Richard Gage. We have 2 different levels going on here. Both levels need to be addressed, and in the easiest possible way, we need to get it done.
I'll send Richard something. He will look at it and maybe reply. Right. That's the thing too, you know. I don't care if it's not about me. This is not really not my thing anymore. It's looking at that day and reading about that day, and especially the official story, that you read that what was not published, read what was not investigated, read where they covered up and that you see it's all about the planes. And we've been sidetracked to look at buildings. Okay, they flew into buildings, but the planes are really where it goes into fighting about the Pentagon. If you still remain like there's no plane at the Pentagon, you really are not looking at the facts, because you see plane debris. And if you cannot explain how the plane debris came to the Pentagon, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, it was a plane. A plane was used, but was it only a plane? What exploded? That's the most important thing. And the same goes with Shanksville. You can say there was no plane, but it's stupid to say no plane.
Mike,
really
go ahead.
stupid.
We're gonna
I
have
just
to
want
wrap.
to say that I am
And
one
Mike,
of
go
those,
ahead and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
okay, I just want to say that I am one of those people that after so long, I had to let go of the Pentagon and focus on other things. But one thing I want y'all to realize, or I want to suggest to y'all, if you've never thought about it, some of y'all maybe have, but you know, it could have been a plane with damn explosives on it. I mean, you know, it could have, you know, I mean, how can somebody not understand that, you know?
Yep.
It could have been a plane that shot a missile. How can somebody not understand that?
Mhm.
You know, I mean, there are, I mean, if I'm wrong, correct me, but aren't there the famous Nagel brothers or whatever it is, the plane hitting? Don't it show it shooting the damn missile in the building right before it hits?
There's that bright light that hits before when 175 and 11. There was a bright flash.
Yeah,
Well, I
so
think
why not the same thing at the Pentagon?
Right, and I think we should all agree that none of us have the answers, and there's a lot of stuff that we do not know.
There's now a
And-
working theory that something came out of the generator, and that's the reason there's a notch out of the front corner of it. Like, yeah, there's this. Hopefully, Richard will unpack this. You guys will be there for the excellent
Right.
question.
That'll, all of us are going to be following that hardcore.
Anyone else for the group before we sign off for this week?
I just want to say that I'm glad that Adam Fitzgerald and Nelson Martins and Ed Brotherton aren't here, because I may not have lasted long. If they was here, I'm serious, I might not have stayed long.
Oh,
Michael,
Because
if it's-
I don't know
I
how much
would-
experience y'all have with them. Y'all may not have as much experience as I do with them. I don't know,
But
but
Michael,
yeah.
Michael, you might be surprised at the
Ed
people that we've
Brotherton.
had inside this room who
Yeah.
in social media would be tearing each other apart and were actually civil to each other in this forum. So don't knock
Yes.
it. You don't know what would have happened.
Nelson Martins isn't welcome, but Ed Brotherton's come here and been respectful, highly civil individual.
And
Uh,
contributed a lot
and
of
contributed a
information.
lot.
Y'all can understand how trolls have different faces. I hope you understand that.
Yeah.
okay?
We're very aware.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. I've had a good time tonight at this. And if I don't come to any future ones, don't feel bad. You know?
Yeah. All good. Thank you.
Won't take it
Xiola?
personally.
Xiola, you got something? Xiola.
Yes, that brings me back to Boland's work, like something we had brought up before about David Chandler doesn't want Boland's work mentioned or anything. So that's something that you had mentioned addressing David Chandler earlier. And that would be one of my questions for him. Why is Boland's work frowned upon? You know, we need some reasons, not just, oh, he completely dismisses it, is what he said.
Yeah,
And with
most people won't attack what he's saying. Most people won't. I think they don't do it. It's because they can't.
I've point blank asked in emails David Ray Griffin and Christopher Bolin and on Facebook, why do you guys, you're like oil and water. Bolin is Mossad and Israeli connection. David Ray Griffin is Bush, Cheney and the CIA, and the twain will never meet. They never will blur the lines. And I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense.
Neither will Noam Chomsky on all kind of stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
we need to iron this out. We need to, this is where we really need to come together and iron this out, because all of these points are valid. All of these things need to be addressed. And we're only being our own worst enemies and being our own gatekeepers by not addressing these items.
Yep. I'm going to throw that in Richard Gage's court again.
Thank you, because it's a deal breaker for me. I'm only here because I want to get these walls down and I want us all to be on the same page.
Yep.
I really do. And I appreciate you mentioning that, Michael, about the planes that might have had bombs on them. That's very possible. They could have been drones, you know?
Yeah, when we
It's
say
very, very
aircraft, yeah.
possible.
When we say aircraft,
So-
we also mean slash drones, slash planes, slash, you can name a million things.
Just something to add real quick. What's his name? Was it David Ray Griffin or some other? There's a famous video that I've got saved of him showing how the phone calls were most likely faked.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
David Ray Griffin.
Yeah.
Anything above 3,500 feet is phone calls aren't heard. Yeah.
Yeah, but were they all faked?
Yeah.
Not opening it.
Yep. Thank you guys.
Okay,
Have a
next
great
week.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thanks for joining.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Good night.
Good
Bye.
night.